Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Aspinall. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is the tank top god, Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
Every single word you said was a fact.
It is.
Pretty sure.
I wouldn't say it if it
was.
I would
about 30 seconds straight, bro. That was cool.
I wouldn't tell a lie on this show.
Well, there is a little bit of cap.
What?
Even from the unbiased king himself. But you guys will see for yourselves shortly. What up, everybody? I'm glad y'all here. I say this a lot, but man, this is a fucking crazy week. FCW. If I gave it some initials, you know it's a big deal.
Yeah, Josh really likes
it's a
to.
DFD. Big fucking deal.
Yeah. Also joining us, it is my brother, the producer of the show. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
What up? What up, nerds?
Did you almost censor yourself? Did you just almost call us bitches?
I was gonna say bitches.
Honestly, how fucking dare you?
You getting spicy, huh? This evening.
Yeah, I guess it's New Jump City late night.
Sometimes it's a real what up bitches kind of day, you know?
I feel that.
Oh well, this week in particular, huh?
Yeah. We got a big week this week. It's a we only got 4 series. We got Jujutsu Kaisen on break.
Don't be modest. It's fucking crazy, guys. One Piece came back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting to it, Josh. I'm fucking getting to it, dude. You know what? Why don't you run this show?
We are gonna be running this show, Chris. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, Brian and Josh are taking up a little bit more of the recap portion for the show. I still got One Piece because that's Bay, but everybody else.
Chris always. Oh gosh, sorry guys.
Oh come on, Josh.
Chris always gets access to Goat Piece.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into it. One Piece is back. Chainsaw Man is back for the second week in a row. It's been a while. It's good to have it back. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into the plugs. You can find me at the Chris Aspinall on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram. And at NY Chillin with an EN, not an ING. And that's on Twitter.
Ooh.
Get at me, guys.
Ooh.
Hey, listen. My Instagram's on private, so, just follow me.
Yeah, you gotta follow him.
I don't know. Send me a message, too. Be like, yo, I'm a New Jump City fan. What up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of weirdos out there, so I like to keep my shit private in general.
Yeah. That's
Even before the fame.
That's good. That's good to have boundaries.
Over 100 YouTube subscribers. What's up, y'all?
We made it, dude. 100?
Fucking lit.
113 at the time of this recording.
Nigga, I'll take it. I love all y'all, yo. I hope y'all here and listening to this gibberish, because we really about to get into some information.
Yeah. Brian, what are your plugs?
You can find me at beat.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh, yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Every week, we do a really good chapter of the week poll for you guys to take part in and let us know what you guys thought and what is your favorite chapter of what we covered this week. We ran it this week again. I'm back on it. I'm back at consistent. We have a poll going. We do have a definitive winner. Very excited to share with that one because it caught me by surprise even. So yeah, check us out on there. Vote for your favorite series. We've been up, it's like 62 votes I think this week. So keep it coming, guys. Follow us on there. Follow us on Instagram at New Jump City. The handles are all the same. We're on TikTok as well because we're cool and we're hip with the kids. So
that's what Brian said.
Brian did say that.
He's the youngest of the group.
He is the youngest. Brian is our youth outreach program. But yeah, follow us on there. We really only post clips of this show, but maybe, I don't know, I'll post manga recs or something. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what we'll do? I'm not good at social media. I'm not cool with the kids like Brian is. But yeah, you could do all that. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about on the show. Yeah, send us questions and whatnot. We do have questions. We can get into them today. Do you guys want to do it? I don't think we ever made that call.
Oh, shit. We will retroactively decide.
Yeah, we'll see how we feel at the end of the show. But we do have questions to answer. You can continue to send us questions that we'll get to eventually at New Jump City Pod.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
I was able to use the word retroactively without having to force it.
I'm honestly proud of you, dude. You did it.
Thanks, man. It's cool. It's pretty neat.
I bet. Yeah, email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com or comment if you're watching this on YouTube, whether it's on the full video or like the whole like highlight breakouts we make for you guys. Leave us a comment. Any feedback is appreciated. Even I guess mean feedback, but don't get too mean because that will make me sad.
Please.
please don't get too mean. But yeah, get on there. Engage with us, guys. We'd love to. We comment back. So engage. But yeah, I think that's it. Subscribe to us while you're at it. I keep forgetting to tell people to subscribe because again, I'm not savvy. But subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, all the things. If you like the show, help get us around, help get us popular. And also, if you prefer audio podcasts, obviously, every episode we've ever done is on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We only have like about 100 out of the 180 something podcasts we've done at this point on YouTube. So the rest of the episodes are on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want to go all the way back to when we were like covering in the middle of Wano, we were like in Act 2 or something when we started the podcast. So yeah, you could see all the things we got wrong.
Yeah.
All the theories that we like missed on over the years. And
the single one theory that we got right.
Oh my God, I got so hyped because we nailed it.
Wait. We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Man, let's not waste any time.
Yeah.
Let's get.
Well, I did a little bit of research.
A little bit of research? Oh God,
Research.
Dude, you're killing it. Using retroactively correctly and doing some research.
Bro, that's.
You know what? We're in a good mood. Let's get into it. Let's start the show. One Piece.
One.
It is the return of the fucking champion, the GOAT.
The champ is here!
I always say World Trick is better, but I mean that's how my personal feelings.
Can they be co-goats?
No.
Cooperative.
Not in
goats?
my heart. But One Piece is the legitimate, undisputed GOAT.
Yeah. I feel that. I guess you could say One Piece is the Jordan and World Trigger's the LeBron? I don't know anything.
I would say that.
Yeah.
I would say that. That works for me personally.
That feels fair. That feels fair. But let's get into it. One Piece is back. Color
Hunter with Kobe.
Huh?
Oh shit! Rest in peace.
I mean, I'll sub out Kobe. Whatever you feel comfortable with. But this is One Piece chapter 1054, The Flame Emperor. First of all, I'd like to point out I'm wearing my Soga King shirt in celebration. Soga King. I gotta point it this way because this is.
Soga King.
Yeah, I got my.
Can't see a whole camera, but like I believe you. I'm sure the people could see it.
Yeah, the people could see.
All
it.
right, I can think. That's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Discord on cut like that guy.
Damn.
Well, this is Brian over. For everyone watching on the video,
yeah,
I got Brian on the lowest screen and Chris up top like that.
Yeah, and I got my One Piece hat. So celebrating the GOAT return. Big fan. I have a World Trigger hat shirt. I'll wear it for when we cover World Trigger.
I have a Sanji head.
Hey, I have Luffy over there. I forgot to bring him to the table.
It's pretty lit.
It is pretty lit. But anyway, 1054, Flame Emperor. Last we left off, Ryugukyu, Green Bull, I guess, for easy, to make it easy on us. Ryugukyu is pretty much a real mouthful there. He's pulling up to Wano, and he's basically taking out all of Kaido's generals and hitmen and like henchmen solo dolo. and he's like walking over to the flower capital to attack Luffy. It seems, and it turns out the samurai
Snatch him up, dead or alive.
Yeah, dead or alive. And it turns out the samurai peeped him coming, I guess.
They sensed the vegetation.
Yeah, they sensed the vegetation, and they all, well, not all of them, but a handful of them actually end up confronting Green Bull outside of Wano. We have Kawamatsu, we have Darkstorm, Cat Viper, Raizo, Shinobu, I think her name is. I forget the ninja's name, and Denjiro. They all confront Green Bull outside, and Green Bull starts popping off immediately. And he's immediately very disrespectful and kind of alarming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big.
We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it later.
Dude, he just immediately just pops off like, don't get in my way, samurai. You should know this by now, but because you guys are not affiliated with the world government, you have no human rights.
Oh, shit!
He said, you guys are not fucking people. So he just like activates his powers, and he reveals that he is a woodsman with the power of the woods fruit. He's basically nature man. We gathered as much from, I guess, what we've seen before, but you know, it's an explanation of his ability. He's basically merged with the plants. He's like poison ivy at this point. Just ultra powerful. He is a plant. He's Swamp Thing. I think that would be a better.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing's pretty serious.
Yeah.
Let's not, let's not throw that around too loosely.
That's fair. He is pretty serious.
We'll see. One Piece characters ain't nothing to scoff at.
No.
So they could hold it down in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. So the scabbards that are there are all fighting Ryugukyu. I keep saying his name. Well, I'll go back and forth probably. And then
Green Bull.
Yeah, Green Bull.
GB.
Green Bull GB. That's when Yamato comes in and smashes his head into the fucking ground. And, you know, he declares that he is not gonna, like, these people have been waiting 20 years to just celebrate without any form of oppression coming their way. And they're not gonna allow anybody to disrupt that. And wouldn't you know, Momonosuke actually is following right behind him. He
followed up.
Yeah, he pulled up with Yamato, and he tries to use his flame clouds. They don't come out because I guess he's not entirely used to being a dragon man yet. So, you know, he instead elects to just go bite him. And he's basically like trying to force him out. He's like, "Be gone, get out of the capital." Momonosuke gets captured in Green Bull's vines. And as the scabbards are about to go into a counterattack, Momonosuke yells out that they mustn't fight him. And that's where we cut away from Wano entirely, actually, to get into a sea near Wano. And who do we see but the ship of one fucking Shanks? He's just been chilling out there for who knows how long. And he
dropped specifically for Shanks.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a Shanks drop.
Red hair Shanks.
Red hair Shanks.
Like One-Winged Angel.
Yeah. Red hair Shanks. Red hair Shanks. Red hair Shanks.
Yeah. Oh, that might be actually a little bit on point.
Red hair Shanks.
We're gonna talk about it.
We'll talk about it anyway. And until we get a Shanks drop, we'll give him this. I gave him this 4Kids Luffy yell.
Oh, okay.
All right, so he's looking at the newspaper, obviously, of the page that is announcing Luffy officially as for one of the 4 emperors, with his wanted poster being the Gear 5 Nika Sun God form, and he's like, well, and he's not shocked.
He's like, wow.
Look,
who's an op now?
Oh man.
Guess who's qualified to be a pack? Oh my god.
Yeah, at that point,
y'all.
Shanks flashes back to the day that they actually stole the gum fruit from the Navy. And we even get a little Who's Who cameo. on board. The guy with the horns, that was who's who. And, basically, he's just like, what the fuck do they want? There's nothing on here, just this one devil fruit. And obviously they stole it. And apparently straight from there, they went to Luffy's town, it seems.
That's what it seems.
That's what it seems. I feel like that's the implication, is that as soon as they stole this devil fruit, they pulled up to Luffy's village quick. And the rest of the story. The rest is history. Shanks protects Luffy from the big sea monster, loses his arm. And I feel like Shanks is like, yes, all the work is coming to fruition. This arm that I sacrificed it's finally paying off. It's finally becoming worth it. So everybody's talking about how like they should land in Wano and go see Luffy. It's time. He's become a great pirate. That's the whole goal. That's the thing that Shanks asked him to promise. The qualifier that Luffy had to get to meet Shanks again is that he'd have to be a great pirate. And Shanks is like, I'm not interested in seeing Luffy right now. And everybody's like, what? Why? And he's like, well, his boy is tearing up our fucking territory right now. It would be bad if I'm like buddy with the guy who's like henchman is just disrespecting me right now. And his crew is like, true.
That is annoying.
That is frustrating. I do love that like Bartolomeo is like
right?
that's being acknowledged right now.
Right. Apparently that was shown.
It was. It's a cover story.
I don't remember what page.
It was a while ago. It was a while ago, where they were just basically doing
a long time ago.
Yeah, the cover story was basically checking in with the fleet, so every one of them got a little bit of a look at what they were doing. Bartolomeo was that he was just going around fanboying about Luffy, and he burned Shanks's flag because he doesn't know his history with Luffy.
Right.
I feel like he wouldn't have done that.
Shanks as well.
Yeah.
That was his OG and saved his life.
Yeah, I love that. But anyway, Shanks goes upstairs to Ben Beckman, who's just chilling, drinking.
The fifth coolest person in the manga?
Yeah, the apparent, according to Oda, the smartest man in the One Piece universe.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. He's like he's apparently like the highest strategic mind in the verse, as far as I know.
Wow.
So yeah, he approaches Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman, he pours him a drink. He pours his captain a drink, and Shanks looks at him. He's like, "Say Beck, I think it's time we make our move. Let's claim the One Piece." The hype train.
Yeah, I believe that was Oda letting us know.
Yeah.
That it's time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's about to get real.
Yeah, this implies that he had to wait for Luffy to achieve this level of his devil fruit in order for this to happen. Like, in order for him to feel good about like actually going after the One Piece, I feel like he needs Luffy to do that. So, very interesting. That being said, we cut over to the Navy HQ headquarters, and we get some more information about what's been going on in the world. And this is what we kind of nailed. I don't know if we actually said this on a podcast. I think this was literally in our group chat where we were just like ruminating on what might be happening with the Reverie.
Oh shit! Was that in the group chat?
It might be just in our group chat, so you guys have no obligation to believe us. I said it too.
Oh, come on! Y'all gotta take on a word for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, we basically.
Why nigga gotta lie? This isn't even that like. I mean, I was impressed.
Yeah. Okay. So
I get, but whatever.
What had happened was, it turns out that the news on the street is that Sabo has killed King Cobra of Alabasta, the father of Vivi. He dead now. So he gets one of these. And
Nefeltari.
Nefeltari Cobra. And on top of that, they also burned the hoof of the celestial dragons, essentially declaring war on the nobles themselves. Because you know what it is. If you burn a flag, if you burn a symbol, you're declaring war. So pretty cool. It turns out that again, another thing we got right in our group chat is that Kuma was actually freed by Sabo and the revolutionaries. And despite both Ryukyu and Fujitora being there and actively fighting with them, the revolutionaries managed to escape with Kuma. So, one of the Marines are like, well, maybe it was just like really hard for them to use all their power in a place where there's mad kings all over the place and the celestial dragons. Akainu being a dick is like, don't give them excuses. They let him get away.
I mean, to be fair, like both of their abilities, like, are like
Huge.
like it's really hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
well
yeah.
said, Brian. It's really hard. Like that is a very fair statement, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought when I first seen this, like, I thought it was kind of wild too, but the fact that it was only 2 admirals against 4 highly skilled with a plan, you know what I'm saying? These revolutionaries,
Mm-hmm.
and they ended up having Kuma's help after the fact once they probably made contact with him and freed him and allowed him to fight. So it makes sense. It's not like they were waging war right there. It was an in and out mission, so it's very believable. This was just, I probably should have saved this for my thoughts at the end, but I just wanted to.
Yeah. I feel
share
that.
that.
I mean,
This is called great execution, in my opinion.
So Sabo has escaped with Kuma and the other revolutionaries. Nobody died, it seems, on their side, so good for them. At the same time, as Cobra was assassinated, apparently Vivi has also disappeared. That could mean either she left with them or Imu got her, which I think that's what happened. I think Imu has her.
One more
The
possibility.
latter?
There's also one more
You say the
possibility.
former or the latter?
I think it's the latter. I think she got taken.
Imu.
She got took by
Like
Imu.
she's not safe right now.
Yeah, she's not safe.
There's also one more possibility, but we'll get to that at the end.
Ooh,
Sure.
Do you perhaps have a theory?
Yeah.
Ooh, theoretical Brian.
Theoretical Brian.
All right, so Vivi's gone. There's also the apparent attempted murder of Saint Charlos, that one celestial dragon that everybody fucking hates, the one that Luffy socked in the face all the way back into Sabaudi, and the one that Doflamingo's family, Saint Myosgard is his name. He beat
That was
him.
Doflamingo's family.
Saint Myosgard.
Relative, not directly his mom and dad.
No, it's his relative.
Right. They never denounced their
Yeah, it was just
obviously
Doflamingo's
still walking around.
father, and he brought them along as well. So the rest of the Don Quixote family seems to be there.
right.
But Myosgard also showed up in the Fishman Island flashback. He was the celestial dragon that was rescued by Queen Otohime way back in the day. So
Yeah, with the blood transfusion.
yeah,
And that's what led him to basically almost killing Saint Charlos, because I don't know if you guys remember, or for everyone listening, back during the Reverie arc in between Whole Cake and Wano, there was a altercation between Saint Charlos, one of the celestial dragons, and Shirahoshi. He tells one of his guards to run up on her and grab her, and he's like, "Oh, I caught her," and he's gonna turn her into his personal slave. Y'all know how they do. Horrible. And Saint Myosgard stood up for her and I think punched that nigga in his face or something.
I think he
that. I don't
literally.
remember what happened.
I think he hit him with like a wooden plank or something. He hit him very hard.
Yeah, he got him. Yeah, he they say it's Princess Shirahoshi,
Yeah,
and it was crazy because Lucci was there too, and they stopped the other people from interfering. With So that was, because I'm bringing this up because I remember reading this and drawing a complete blank. So I said, nah, I need to figure this out.
yeah.
So I went back to the Reverie arc, and there you go.
Yeah. There's on top of that, this is just not a great couple days for the Marines, because as it turns out, after Cobra was assassinated, ever since the kings have returned to their nations, there's been this 8-nation revolution that is and there's already like 8 nations that seem to be a part of the revolutionaries. I think is what I'm like. I feel like it's written strangely. I don't know if it's a translation thing, but this is what I got from it: is that there's an 8-nation revolution, which I feel like is the nations that are allied with the revolutionaries in one way or another. And now that Sabo has killed what is of a person of celestial dragon descent, it has like kind of stoked the fires of rebellion in more nations across the world. Seeing as how nobody likes those motherfuckers, and Cobra being the only representative, so to speak, in a tangential sense, because he's not a celestial dragon, but he is the only one who's a descendant of the original 20 founders to actually attend the reverie and be in the meeting. The other celestial dragons don't really take part in it, it seems. So, yeah, the apparent assassination.
But the other kings do. The other kings do. Aren't they technically celestial dragons?
No.
Or descendants of?
No, because King Riku from Dressrosa, he's not a Doflamingo. He's not like a Don Quixote.
Right, which is why their situation's different. Oh no, they did pull up to the reverie. Right, Rebecca did too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just because you're like a king of a nation that is one of the founding nations doesn't mean that the monarch there is necessarily related to the celestial dragons.
And you're saying Cobra was the only celestial dragon out of all of the kings?
Yes, the only one who can claim celestial dragon status, because he's an actual descendant of one of the 20 leaders that founded the government.
I see.
Yeah, there's celestial dragons who are just 20 families that are descendants of people who founded the world government, and then they're just like kings of various nations. Some of them may be people from the countries that these founders came from. Some of them are just like new people, like Fishman Island. They don't have like any ties.
Right.
Dragons.
They're fish people.
Yeah.
Until they mix with one of them or something, but whatever.
Yeah, I believe this is their first time at the reverie. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's not a requirement.
Okay.
Wasn't Fisher Tiger also against celestial dragons and shit?
Well, yeah, he was.
Absolutely.
He was an actual slave. He was a literal Mary Jo slave.
He was Joy Boy for a second.
Yeah.
He was.
He was the next closest
Nico.
thing.
He was Nika, man. For a hot second, man, he was the man, yo.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. to a real nigga.
What if he did have the gum fruit?
No, we would have seen it. He would have used that.
He wouldn't have been able to do fish stuff, that's for sure.
He wouldn't be able to swim necessarily, so he'd be able to breathe. Jack has a devil fruit, and he was just chilling down there.
Really?
Yeah, Jack is a fish man.
But he could swim?
No, he could just survive down there. He can breathe underwater, but he just can't swim at all. So he's just down there. He's just on the sea floor like that. That was that one moment. I don't know if you remember when Zoe smacked the shit out of his boat, and he was like, "Come get me, someone."
Oh yeah. Oh shit! I didn't even realize that. I didn't know he was a fishman.
Yeah, he's a fisherman.
So random.
Yeah.
He just so happens to be a fishman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, the chapter ends with apparently Sabo, the information that Sabo is being worshipped now. He's even probably got more status than Dragon himself. Now that he's assassinated what is a celestial dragon in apparently a lot of people's eyes. So, big deal. And, he's being tied to Luffy because, everybody knows that they're brothers. So I guess what I imagine is a revolutionary is just spreading the gospel of Sabo. And is like, and on the flip side, in the world of pirates, the Flame Emperor's brother, that's what they're calling him now, the Flame Emperor. The Flame Emperor's brother has upended the old order by, defeating Big Mom and Kaido. So, times are changing. And Akainu like, wow, this is a crazy time for me to be in charge. Luckily, I don't care what happens, though. I want all the smoke. I'll take whoever wants to come at us. and I will drive each and every one of them to the depths of the fucking sea. And that's where this chapter ends.
Pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, lots to dissect. Honestly, I guess I should get out of the way. Is this anybody's RGC?
This is my RGC.
This is my RGC.
Whoa!
You gotta give it to One Piece.
Then this is a unified, really good chapter of the week.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
I love that drop.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, without further ado, let's get into our thoughts. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
So I don't know what the right word for it is, but I felt like I had to give One Piece the RGC. And I don't do it begrudgingly. It's just that, man, a couple of the other chapters were just that solid to me. But we'll save that discussion for later. Yes, One Piece returns. And even though it was contentious, it is my favorite chapter of the week. Let me tell you a little story. Sometimes the conditions you absorb something in, like that you when you decide to read something or listen to something or whatever, however your mood is in or how you're feeling physically, can really affect how you take in information. I started reading One Piece when I was at work. I was very tired. My feet was hurting. And I was like towards the end of my break. So I told myself, I don't have a lot of time. So let me try to at least knock out One Piece. Because, my friend at work was pressing me to read it. Because he was like, oh, it's really good. It's really good. So started reading the first few pages. And it got to where they showed Shanks. And I just wasn't excited. And I knew something was wrong. And I was like, it's got to be me. It's got to be me. So I was like, I'm not gonna even finish. I actually didn't even have time to finish the chapter. So I guess I'm blessing in disguise because, I share how I feel with my friend at work, and he's like, "Nah, you're bugging." And I was like, "I know I'm bugging, man. I don't know. Maybe I'll just feel better later." So I get home, I chill, eat. I actually played a video game for a couple hours, and it's late. I'm almost falling asleep, and I start to smoke, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna at least try to read One Piece now, even though I'm still tired. I was like, I want to at least read it because I'm interested in how the chapter finishes, But something told me yo, Josh, read the last chapter first, just to remind yourself, because I started this chapter from the beginning. When Ryugoku was walking, and I was like, wow, he really started it exactly where he left off. But I wasn't sure, so I went back to the last chapter, read that whole thing, and then as I read that, I got hyped. I was like, oh shit, the next chapter is right here, and I didn't even finish it yet. So, it got to Shanks, and I was like, oh man, I started seeing the panels, reflecting on Luffy's past. And then the little bit of talk between, the crewmates, and it all gets to the part where he says, "Let's claim the One Piece." I'm not gonna make the complete edgelord prediction or theory of saying that Shanks is going to be a bad guy, that he's all along been this mastermind that's been plotting to just get the One Piece all first. That sounds fucking ridiculous, to set up a child to predict him to be an emperor and Nika the sun god. There's a lot we don't know, but I'm not willing to believe that is some type of evil, nefarious plan. However, it did make me think about, what does Shanks represent and what does Dragon represent? I'll tell you this. We know what Dragon represents. We don't know his whole story. We don't know his whole background. But he is a revolutionary. He is fighting for change. He is fighting against the oppression of the celestial dragons and their marine cronies that enforce their royal laws, What's Shanks about? They can't have the same shtick. I'm not saying they can't, but it would seem a little odd for them to both be these guys that want to ultimately save and free the world. I feel like there's just a little bit more depth to Shanks' character, whereas whatever we learn about Dragon, it's going to just reinforce the fact of why he's a revolutionary. We have no idea what Shanks' motivations are. You know what I'm saying? What led him to those? So if Dragon is the revolutionary, what is he? What is Shanks? The pirate? I don't know what that means. These are just thoughts I had, you know? These are the things that came across my mind.
So,
And I think Otis setting us up for something. I'm going to continue my thoughts, but it sounds like you have a rebuttal, Brian. Go ahead.
I just wanted to like the distinction between pirates and revolutionaries is that pirates aren't heroes, so to say. Like they're not there to actually go for change. They're more like selfish anti-heroes for some extent. Luffy is not a hero. He makes that clear in everything that he like and how he acts. Most of what he does is mostly for himself, but he also happens to align with other people in a good way. So he's not really doing things for righteous reasons. But the revolutionaries are. So essentially the revolutionaries are if the world government are the villains, then the revolutionaries are the heroes, so to speak. Like they're the people who are actually doing things for righteous reasons.
So you believe that Shanks definitely has his heart or his mind in the area of being against, you know, the Marines, especially as a pirate, but also philosophically, like against the celestial dragons, perhaps. Like is what you're like implying that regardless of like his actual purpose, it's something in that area similar.
What I'm trying to say is that don't be surprised if Shanks has been like because he's a pirate, he's not a revolutionary, so don't expect him to like. Don't be surprised when he does something or that his intentions aren't as good as we all think. You know, like because pirates
That's exactly what I'm. That's exactly what I'm anticipating. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
100. That's actually I was gonna get to that towards the end of my thoughts, but I'll just go ahead and say it straight up. I think if I have a theory, it's that we're getting lined up to see Luffy end up facing off against Shanks for some reason, and it's not about someone being evil. It's about someone just being in your way and who wants it more. I think it's going to be a little bit more pure, like I want it and you want it, and it's not about any agendas or politics. You know, it's just for the pure joy of discovery. And you know, I could see something poetic like that happening, but knowing Luffy or just knowing how shonen stuff works in general, Shanks is gonna have to do something divisive. Is that the right way to? Yeah. Right. Like this, it's gonna have to do something in conflict with Luffy's interest or feelings. In my opinion, I foresee something like that happening, but who knows?
I kind of have a rebuttal.
I'm not gonna die on that hill. I
think
surprised, and that would sound super interesting to me.
no, there's definitely like a conflict between Shanks and Luffy already. Luffy has acknowledged that if he wants to be the king of the pirates, he has to beat all 4 emperors. So I think he's always planned on fighting Shanks from the beginning.
Does he know Shanks is the emperor? Like he knows now?
No, I think he knew.
If he didn't know before,
he's always known.
All right.
But yeah, he knew that he would have to fight. Like when he initially made the alliance with Law, Law's only intention was to take down Kaido. And Luffy's like, well, that actually works out because I'm planning on taking down all 4 of them.
All of them.
Yeah, well, I was going to do that anyway. So sure, let's do it together. Yeah, I like to think that maybe it's a little bit of both with Shanks. I think Shanks can have an ulterior motive without necessarily having like malicious intent, you know? Because he has a tie to the One Piece just by the fact that he was pretty close with Roger. And Roger, I think, gave him the hat, I would imagine. So, and he did say something to him before he died. So I think Shanks is acting on something that came from Roger. Not necessarily, maybe not an order necessarily. But they had a relationship that would give me reason to think that like Shanks has a tie with Roger that makes him push towards the One Piece more than anything. Shanks is an interesting one because I don't know if he cooperates with the government necessarily, but he seems to have a somewhat working relationship with them.
Yes,
because he can like,
and that's very weird to me.
Yeah, it's either he's
red
like
flag, like if it's a red or a green flag, it's leaning more red.
Yeah, I think everybody's leaning towards red when it comes to Shanks a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, Shanks could also be using the world government, his status. We don't know his actual relationship with the Gorosei. We don't know why they just let him pull up to their fucking office, being one of the most notorious pirates in the New World.
Right.
Who knows?
Fucking weird, guys.
Yeah.
Something's not adding up.
Yeah, I would like to think that like Shanks is playing everybody, Like I don't think he has like a good relationship with them. He has some kind of arrangement maybe, but it's not a friendly one, it feels. I don't know. We have nothing to go on. Oda's very good at not giving us any clues, but still coming out with the most plausible thing possible. So I don't know. But yeah, you have more thoughts, right, Josh?
Nothing major. All like let me see. Let me go through these pages. Yeah, I'm really. Oh, I mean, here's the fucking big. I'm pretty sure like no one really like talked about this, but like in the group chat or prior, but we all know Sabo did not kill Cobra.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
We all 100 like we're all like on board here, right? I mean, like it could be the case, but I'm not betting on it. I wouldn't bet money on that,
Neither would I.
Mm-hmm. So who did kill Cobra? Why did they kill Cobra? Right? I mean, where the fuck is Vivi? I hope that she's with the Flame Emperor himself.
Yeah, I mean, world government for sure. Shadow assassinated him.
For sure.
They don't like Alabasta. They don't like them.
They didn't like them.
They did
right?
not.
Cobra
like
was
them.
asking questions at the reverie that they did not like.
Yeah, and also like the Mary Joie people don't take kindly to people who leave them. The example being Doflamingo. Like his father left and it was like you're on your own and allowed like his dad to be killed basically. And
they kind of instigated it too. It didn't just happen, right? They kind of like facilitated.
Doflamingo's father was naive, and he didn't realize how much people fucking hated celestial dragons. So when he descended upon like just these oppressed villages that were probably affected directly by them, they were not received well. And
he was like, oh, they thought shit was sweet.
Yeah, they thought
it's a tragedy, but it's understandable.
Yeah, no. And Doflamingo was not accepted back in, even though like he came back basically, and they just said, no, you left, your father left, you and your brother are like dead to us. So, so they don't take kindly to people who leave them. There's definitely like a huge classist and elitist slant towards the Gorosei and Imu and the Celestial Dragons, where they see themselves obviously as above people. They call other people humans. They don't see themselves as human. They see themselves as higher than that. So they were also talking about, when the Gorosei went to go see Imu, he was like, what light should we extinguish now? That light's supposed to be Alabasta. They're talking about genocide again. So I think they're trying to get rid of Alabasta. Because they don't like Alabasta.
Damn.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. Guys, I have one last thought.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of like a fun thing. Well, not really. All right. A friend brought up this weird question to me, and he was like, do you think, like, how do you feel about, like, Marines having Conqueror's hockey? And I said, what do you mean? Like, power scaling wise, or you mean like philosophically? And I was like, he's like, well, like, because Like, do you think they should all have it? Like at this point, you know? And I told him no for 2 reasons. Both one for power scale and one for on a philosophical level. So I'm gonna go with the latter first, right? Marines are the fucking cronies of celestial dragons. They are not conquerors. They're not leaders. They are not independent thinkers. They're fucking brainwashed lapdogs.
Mm-hmm.
They're like I said, they're grunts. Feel me? Doges. They're not about ruling nothing. You feel me?
Right.
So I think that the way the power works. I mean, if we see the people who do have it, right? Kaido, Big Mom, Zoro, Luffy, etc., etc. Like, these are all people who don't bow down to no fucking body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing they have is mutual respect for other people, and that has nothing to do with strength. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're real bosses. You feel me? Real leaders. For their own, groups of people, not these Marines. But I think that not only do they not qualify for it, I don't think it's necessary because, Conqueror's Haki, or how it's used offensively with Rio, it's just an offensive technique. Like, armament Haki was something that I feel like kind of everybody has to have, because without it, you could do absolutely nothing to Logia fighters. And that's kind of the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it also gives you a general boost to strength and durability that it's like, if you don't have it, you better have one wicked-ass fruit to make up for it. You know what I mean? It's that much skill. But, I mean, everyone has armament. Haki, the Rio is like a skill to fight against. You know what I'm saying? These other people. And I think they could get around shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone like, the Green Bull could definitely get around someone with Rio. You know what I mean? He's not going to auto lose just because someone could use that technique. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's fair. I don't think they should have it, and I think it would be fine if they didn't have it. If I see Akainu with that shit, I'm going to be mad tight.
Yeah. I would say that, like, the Admirals would probably have it. If anybody in the Marines has it, it's probably in the Admiral circle. Garp.
That's the only thing I'll accept.
Garp and Sengoku.
No, fuck them, man. They work for the government.
They're
fuck
sure.
them.
But Conqueror's Haki does.
Garp is also a D. So there's that.
Yeah, Garp is like the D. The legend of the D is that they're like enemies of the gods. So
I guess so. They made a mistake. They brought him into the government. And it was like, maybe we can control the will of D.
I think so. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Right, that makes sense, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you want a promotion? You want to be an admiral?" He's like, "Nah."
Yeah, he didn't become an admiral when he could have. He stayed vice forever. That was a choice. Because I think when you're an admiral, you're for real. Like, you got to do what we say, dude. I think vice admirals probably have a little bit more freedom to move around and
slightly
shit.
more agency.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Smoker has all the agency in the world. He just goes where the fuck he wants
Yeah.
and floats around, essentially.
But yeah. Yeah. I think that's an interesting question. I would think maybe the admirals have it. Higher ranking people in the world, the government, to some degree, have it.
The thing about the admirals are that they're devil fruit powerhouses for the most part. They don't look at the admirals for hockey power, essentially. Yeah. I think hockey is more of a pirate thing than a navy thing. Essentially.
Like Conqueror's hockey.
Well, Smoker has hockey. Yeah, Smoker has armament,
It's because we show, like, yeah, sure, they have, like, basic level hockey, like, like armament, like observation. That's all they really need. But this series isn't all Conqueror's hockey. Conqueror's hockey doesn't solve every situation.
Yeah, it's also rare.
Look at Law and Kid versus Big Mom. It's like sometimes devil fruits overpower even like the strongest level of hockey, which is why Akainu exists. Akainu is the ultimate fucking eraser. Like he it doesn't matter how much hockey you have, he'll erase your shit.
He's magma.
I mean, with his nice quirk. His fucking devil fruit.
Someone's excited. But yeah, Josh, where those are your thoughts?
That was everything, guys. I don't know if y'all have anything left to say
Yeah,
after
I do.
making so many rebuttals.
Brian,
So
go
I
for
have
it.
a few. I have a few points. First off, something that I just realized right now. If you look at the cover page, one of these things is not like the others.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Let me go back. Let me go check.
Buggy.
One of these things are not like the others.
Let me see if I can figure it out on my own. You want to?
Man, you gotta make
Drop
me
a
go
single
all the way
hint?
back. I closed the chapter, Brian.
I think you'll be able
Yeah,
to see
me
it.
too. This should take
think you'll be able
forever
to
to
do this.
load up. Jesus Christ. Lord save me.
Shanks?
Okay.
Shanks is not like the others. Everybody's like, ah.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has a big,
Oh.
wide smile, and Shanks is the only one that's not smiling like them. So it's pretty clear that Shanks is the odd one out in this race.
He's dying next.
I think Buggy is more likely to become a fucking Pirate King than Shanks due to this cover page. Just because of this cover page, and I know that's saying a lot.
Brian.
I know that's saying a
Damn.
That's going on TikTok.
Just because,
That's going on TikTok.
That's what
bro.
Brian said. Brian
Wait
said,
for them to tear your ass up, Brian.
just remember, the One Piece made everybody smile and laugh. And all three of these guys are smiling and laughing, and they look crazy. But Shanks is the only one that's tame. So I think that's just one little red herring. Well, no pun intended. One little red herring that Shanks is not going to be Pirate King before any of these guys.
well, I'll say
And
this.
whoever replaces him next will have a smile and fit in with the others.
Well, I'll say this. I think maybe that is like a little bit of an intentional thing. There could be something intentional to this cover page. Oda does like to hide things in color page spreads sometimes. So maybe, yeah, it could be just Shanks' personality, but you know that could also feed into a lot of things going on with Shanks and why he's different from the others. Everybody else is an absurd person except for Shanks. He's pretty
I think
much
Shanks is way too cool to do anything like that. Like, to express too much emotion.
yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
He's red hair Shanks, Brian. Like,
Yeah, I know, but that's the point.
come on.
Yeah,
That's the point.
I hear what Brian's saying. I think it makes sense.
I don't.
He's a
I don't
gangster. He's a gangster, but he's not the gangster. Essentially,
Well,
he's more like the setter than the spiker.
You
than the
just said Buggy holds more weight.
yeah. you said it.
Buggy,
Yeah.
judging by the cover page, he's more likely. I'd say just
Yeah.
by the cover page alone.
You
But-
heard it here first.
All right, on to the next. Let's get on to what happened to Vivi. All right, so there is a theory out there that Kuma sent Vivi somewhere else before she could get captured by the world government or by the Holy Knights, essentially.
Hmm.
So he either sent her to the revolutionaries to Dragon, or she's on her way to Wano right now. So
Well,
that's one of the possibilities. So there's three possibilities. Vivi either got captured, Sado got away with her, or Kuma sent her somewhere else.
I would say Kuma's is probably a little unlikely given how we don't know how much agency he has or control over his devil fruit post-death. So
True, he's a full robot now.
yeah, he's a full robot, and his last request to his last action as sentient Kuma was to protect the Thousand Sunny. So I don't know how operational he is in that sense. I'm not counting it out, but it would. We really have to get a baseline for how much of Kuma is left in there, because I think the whole point is that there isn't anything left of him. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe that will be explained more. That's one thing I'll say that is unlikely, but we've been wrong before. I'm not gonna say it's entirely wrong.
You sure have been wrong before.
There is also one more theory.
Oh my god!
And it's also in reference to Shanks, right? And how this is all going to go down. So essentially, there's a theory that Davy Backfight is going to come back, and Shanks is going to do a Davy Backfight for the Straw Hat once they meet again.
That would be pretty funny. That would be
What's
like
that?
the Davy.
So-
You remember Silver Fox?
Long Ring, Long Land.
The game they played with that fucking gag character, essentially.
All right, so let me do. Let
You
me
don't
give you a little
remember,
refresher, Josh? Because it's not a very memorable arc. Let's be real here.
I
And
remember
not a
it.
lot of people like it.
When did it
Um,
happen?
It happened like right after
Skypiea.
right before CP9.
It happened right after Skypiea, before CP9.
Adam.
All right, so essentially,
Afro
so let me
Luffy.
do a
You
refresher.
don't remember Afro Luffy?
I'm sure a lot of people don't remember.
Wow.
I'm sure a lot of people
No,
don't remember.
a lot
Long
of
Ring,
people
Long Land.
remember the Davy
But
back
essentially-
fight.
Essentially, Davy backfights is when two pirates challenge each other to a game with a price. Whoever wins gets a reward of that they name. So during the Foxy fight, it was whoever wins this Davy back fight, I could take one of your crewmates. So, and every game that they play, they lose more and more crewmates to the Foxy pirates. And in order to get them back, you have to play for them. You have to fight for them. So essentially, it's not even like you don't have to have a malicious intent for the Davy back fight. It's just an agreement between pirates to play a game in which they get a reward of whatever they name, as long as they agree to it. And this Davy back fight would be between the red-haired pirates and the Straw Hats, which would make sense because they don't really hate each other, so they're probably not gonna fight over anything else. So a Davy back fight would be the most like sportsman-like fight between the two. You know, it would make the most sense. You know, they play the game, they stake something on it, and they fight for it. And everybody can go for it, I guess. Anybody on the Straw Hats could go against each other. So I think that would be a pretty interesting way to bring it back, make the Long Ring, Long Land arc actually make sense.
Well, I think it makes sense. Well, look, here's the thing. A lot of people discount the Davy back fight as like, and you know, you can have your feelings about it. I get it. It's not, it feels the most fillery. It feels like manga filler. It's so strange, that arc. But I enjoyed it because it does have like kind of a significance, I would say. I think the significance of the Davy back fight is that like it preceded an arc where things got extremely difficult for the Straw Hats, where like the Grand Line suddenly went up a level after they got back from Skypiea, and they nearly lost everything like several times over. And the idea of Luffy taking on this silly competition that like seemingly has no stakes, but then when he got to his game, which is just a fight, he almost lost everything. Like he almost lost the right to be a pirate, essentially. So it was a silly game, but it was to prove that like what Luffy doesn't understand is that like in that moment, even this silly little thing could have meant the end of everything, in a sense. But that's the thematic element that I took from Davy back fight.
No,
That's why I think it's coming back against Shanks.
I think it makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I think it makes sense, the idea of a Davy back fight and like Oda's tendency to bring back things from thousands of chapters ago. I wouldn't hate it. Maybe that's what the Elbaf arc is that they get to Elbaf and they do the Davy back fight there. And
I think Elbaf would be the perfect place for it because combat is seen as a sport in Elbaf, like for giants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's theorized that Elbaf has ties to Shanks in general. That's like what people
I was
think.
just about to ask that. Is that Shanks' territory? Or
We don't know.
Yeah,
remains
maybe
to be
Bart.
seen?
Maybe Bart is just causing up a storm in fucking.
I think we would see giants more, but I don't know. I feel like we would have noticed giants on Bartolomeo's story. He has a different territory. They would have said Elbaf as well.
Where else would they be heading to get? Like, if they have to cut through Wano to get to where they're going, where else would he be?
Well, no, they're not going after Bartolomeo. They're just saying that like they can't buddy with Luffy publicly because his boy is tearing up their other territory. Shanks has probably a bunch of islands under his like control, so Barto just hit one of them. But yeah, I mean, Josh, Brian, do you have any other thoughts?
No, that's it. This was a big chapter filled with a lot of information. So
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short because we've been on One Piece for like an hour, if I think actually
Yeah.
thinking about it. So pretty brief. Honestly, we're reaching the point of One Piece that I've been waiting for personally. I love One Piece top to bottom, but my favorite parts are always these like middle, like in between arcs, where we get to see like the world react to things and how the world has changed and evolved since the Straw Hats were out there. That's practically like an element of storytelling in manga that like Oda created. The idea that like this world, like worlds can be living organisms that aren't like necessarily tied to the protagonists and move and change on their own. And that's what I always loved about One Piece more than anything, honestly. It's just a lot of people say that One Piece is the king of world building, and it's true for this reason. There's no other manga really does it like that, you know. A lot of manga very much tie the elements of their world to the protagonists that inhabit it. And Oda's the only one that just like allows it to grow without it, independent of them. But yeah, that's why I love it. I'm very excited for what comes next in One Piece in this post Wano arc. So glad that we don't have a break next week from One Piece. Hopefully that continues onward. We get more non-breaks. We're getting color pages again next week, apparently, from One Piece. Very exciting about that. But yeah, not much else to say. Everybody said what I wanted to say, so no point in bashing the hammer, hitting the nail too hard on the head, or whatever the saying is. But yeah, without further ado, we should move on. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Then let's go. Oh yeah, let us know what you think about One Piece. I'm trying to get more calls to action going, but comment what you guys thought. Tell us your theories about what's going on. But yeah, let's move onward. Chainsaw Man. I'm gonna throw this over to Josh now because he's volunteered to take on Chainsaw Man.
Sure did.
Go for it, boy.
Alrighty. I actually did not download it on the tablet yet. Just give me 1 second.
Wow. Unprofessional.
Okay, guys. Chainsaw Man, chapter 100.
100.
How to walk shoeless. Yeah, 100. That's so funny that he didn't even make it to 100 to end the series, the first part of the series.
Yeah.
I think he could have did that, but whatever. Good for him for not forcing it, I guess. For fighting the OCD urge. Anyway, yeah. How to walk shoeless. This isn't one of those out there titles that's like metaphorical or something, or meant to be like a joke or a clever remark on the situation of the chapter or reference. That happens, guys. And that's about as exciting as it gets. Now let me stop. So anyway, we start back off where we left. Where last chapter we had the main character, Mitaka. What's that? Asa Mitaka?
Yeah, Asa Mitaka.
Yeah, we had the main character Asa end up getting involved in this club that hunts devils. I guess after school, right? That's
yes.
club sequence.
Yeah, they just allow children to do this. They're just
right. This was a confirmed thing that we all accepted.
Yeah, let's give these teenagers weapons and let them walk around the school.
Yeah, the school.
They're in the school.
I thought they would walk around the neighborhood.
Well, I think they're like part of the assignment is a neighborhood, but they're also they're in the school right now.
Damn, is that lethal at school? I think I'd hunt for devils. I guess like the miniature ones, the ones that could probably grow into something worse if left.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. This isn't Jujutsu Kaisen.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, they have a chicken devil.
Oh, yeah, the more fear they have, the stronger it will get.
Yes,
right?
yes.
All right, fair enough. Anyways, yeah, so, they're doing this seemingly harmless club activity. Asa's like really feeling like down on herself. I mean, she feels super awkward that she's grouped up with this guy that gave her a hard no when her alter ego war devil asked him out. purely for the sake of taking control over him. That was a cool little quirk that the War Devil has. Anyway, yeah. So she's dealing with the fact that she's in a group with someone that rejected her cold and hard, and she also feels bad about killing that devil chicken thing.
Bucky, the devil,
When
the
she-
chicken
yeah,
devil.
Bucky when she fell on it and its guts spilled out. So she's an emotional wreck. Plus she died, and like I said, she's has her body taken over by something else. So life's rough for us. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna try to take that from her.
She's really going through it.
Yeah, been going through it. She walks in the hallway and sees like these three girls, I guess from her class, and she makes eye contact with one of them, it seems, and they just kind of like walk past her, and they start talking a little bit of shit, like when like behind her back, and like kind of laugh at her expense. So she feels like shit, and she decides to say, "Fuck it, I need to go home. I'm gonna make an excuse. I can't deal with this shit no more." She's like, "I just remembered I had something to do." Wow, she could have did a little bit better than that. What's crazy is that she actually is going through something like physically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess she doesn't feel like mentioning that. No, I think she said if she like lets anybody know, she'll the War Devil will kill her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sucks to be Asa. Yep. Anxiety galore. Plus, she's a high school student. I think those same girls apparently like broke into Asa's locker and threw, I don't know, chicken livers on her fucking sneakers.
That's
like
chicken. Yeah. That's raw
morbidly
chicken.
creative.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought about doing that to somebody. That's pretty crazy, man. The pettiness. They have pretty creative levels of pettiness in Japan, apparently. At least from the perspective of this author, which name is
Tatsuki Fujimoto, I think his name is.
Thank you, Chris. Where would we be without the Unbiased King? Anyway. So the guy is in the group with them. And she's like, yo, like, you good? And then she notices that the raw meat in the locker. And, Asa's like, I'm fine. And she clearly knows she's not fine. So she kind of like, Asa decides to walk home barefoot. I remember the title of the chapter, guys.
Yeah.
Learning to walk barefoot or something like that. Yep, it happens. This is it right here. Yeah, Asa's reflecting. She's a teenage girl. Life is already tough,
Yeah.
Aside all the other bullshit.
Yeah, she was already like kind of a recluse and, not really fitting in. And now this just made it 10 times worse.
Right. And like the crazy part is she starts getting fake consoled by the War Devil. Because she notices that she's so depressed that she's like literally like damaging her feet, walking home like shoeless. She's like, "Shorty, you're wilding. Like, what's up?" She even offers like, "Oh, like I seen what happened with those bullies. We got bullies in the devil world too. You need me to clean them up for you?" No
I
problem.
am indeed the war devil. This is what I do.
Yeah, it would be nothing.
I retaliate. I retaliate for sport.
For sport, yeah, right. I literally sit here and wish every moment of my existence that somebody would. You feel me? So
yeah, I wish somebody would devil.
Right. Homegirl from the group earlier ends up catching up with Asa, and she's like, "Oh, like if you're gonna walk around without shoes, I'll do it with you. Matter of fact, why don't we split shoes so that we share the pain?" That's a real ass bitch right there.
Mm-hmm.
We need a drop for that too.
I mean, I'll use that. I guess I'll use this for now, though.
That bitch from Tokyo.
Oh yeah, there you go. Perfect. So, right now, I just want to let you guys know something. It is much better to walk home barefoot than with one pair of shoes. Not only does it actually not feel good, like walking after a while, but you are hurting, like you're damaging your back, I think.
Mm.
You know what? I'm not a physician or nothing like that, but you could Google it, guys. Walking with one shoe damages yourself. take my words take my words lightly if you want.
Yeah.
Don't let them say I didn't tell you.
Hey,
Anyway,
the more you know.
yeah, but Shorty doesn't know that. All she knows is that she wants to help out Asa, but no other reason but the fact that she can see someone is clearly in a lot of angst and pain.
She's just a good person.
Right. Good for her being a good person.
Yeah, which means she may or may not die at some point.
Oh, why do you have to go there, Chris? You know what? Let me get to the end of the chapter. So, okay, trust me, not much more of that. So yeah, she's Asa fights. She's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to take one of your shoes. That's weird. I'm too miserable to have you help me out. I know how it is. And she's not taking no for an answer, and she said, let's go, let's get up out of here. So they run for what I assume is miles over to wherever the fuck they live. And they may or may not have permanent lower back damage, but I think they definitely built a friendship, which is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So is your lower back, but friendship is also valuable.
That's true.
Right?
I mean, those are true statements, I would say.
I think so.
I would say those are real statements that you can make about things.
And then, so they make it back. I don't even know this girl's name with the glasses, actually. Did she ever ask her name?
Yeah, they mentioned it once, and I just don't remember what it is yet.
All right, so if you're not going to make the effort, neither will I. So
I'll make the effort while you recap.
There's Asa, and then there's the cool-ass girl, all right? So her friend, who's the cool-ass girl with the glasses, they make it back to her crib, and she's like, all right, since I'm back home, I'm going to just give you both my sneakers, and give them back to me. Or keep them, or sell them, or throw them away.
Her name is Yuko. It's in the very beginning of the chapter.
You just couldn't, you just had to do it, Chris.
I don't know. I was working. I had to do what I had to do.
No, I'm impressed, man. I'm not disappointed. I guess that tone did sound kind of.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I wasn't doing nothing.
No, man. You're dedicated to your craft, bro. Yeah. So, like I said, she gives her the sneakers. She's like, oh, do whatever with them. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
See you tomorrow. And this is why Chainsaw Man is really good. Like, one of the reasons Chainsaw Man is really good, in my opinion, because, even on this last page, when she kind of just, is walking and looks down at her shoes, and just the facial expression is very organic. It's like a girl, she's, kind of oh. You could see there's a blend of emotions there. There's these actually look kind of nice. And, these are comfortable. Or, she could be thinking about, wow, that was really nice. But one thing's for sure, she doesn't look miserable right there. That small gesture kind of helped her day out. And I think that kind of was the point of this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But that was it, guys. Oh, but right before it ends, the Roy Devil's like, oh, all right, so should we go sell those? She didn't say that.
Yeah.
And Asa's like, are you fucking dumb? No.
No.
I'm going to keep them forever. As a token of our friendship. Not you, though. You're an asshole.
Yeah, you're the war devil.
That's Chainsaw Man, guys. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
What's
your thoughts, Chris?
That was interesting. This series.
It wasn't bad. It just
No. I really like this chapter.
No, it was a cool chapter. It was very Chainsaw Man-y without the action,
Yeah, I mean, Chainsaw Man is very. When you think about it, Chainsaw Man's action is very condensed, and the rest of it is just weird, deep stories like this.
Yeah.
Because when Denji was the main character back in the day, yeah, a lot of it was about Denji just being a person. He's for those who don't know, Denji comes from less than nothing. He's
less than.
Yeah, he's the brokest of the broke, and he sold his eyes and kidneys for money, just so he could buy food. That whole story was him just reaching humanity, to a point, you know, coming from like his darkest depths. This chapter, it's a different story entirely. Obviously, this is like, for all intents and purposes, it's kind of a normal girl, going through kind of normal things, except for the War Devil. It's kind of like an interesting parallel to Denji, in a way, because Denji is also merged with a devil at the beginning of his story, and Asa is not dissimilar in that way. But yeah, it's two different stories, and I like the title is just like How to Walk Shoeless. There's this like it's just like a nice story about kind of like bullying, and it's like a good example of how to be a good person to someone who's being bullied. You don't need to fight their battles for them. You just need to show kindness where you can, you know. And Yoko did that definitely, just by sharing her shoes with them, even though it destroyed their lower backs probably. But the sentiment,
yeah, for sure, shredded their whole lower back section
because they were sprinting. Yeah. But you know, it's funny because it's like it is the two extremes of human kindness and human cruelty. You know, I guess in this setting, in a high school setting, when you look at bullying, it is just the example of how shitty people can be, but also how nice people can be. You know, it's not like a monolith. People are not all good or all bad. And we definitely see that with Yoko being the other side of the coin to those girls. It's very funny because this chapter you will blast through. This chapter is 22 pages long, almost like it's 19 pages long. I read this in like 2 minutes because a lot of it is very much spent establishing these like quiet moments and setting up these moods and really letting you just share in the emotional pauses that Asa is having in any given moment. You know, whether it's the realization that like these people don't like her, the trauma that she's suffering from accidentally having killed Bucky, and you know, just her absorbing kindness in a way. Those are, Chainsaw Man's like something else. I don't think I've ever read a manga like it. It's very strange, very deep.
Yeah, there's a reason it sticks out.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I had to say. It probably would have been. Well, I don't want to say that. I don't know. I don't know what would have been my second place, to be honest, this week. Everything.
I know for sure what was my second place.
That's fair. I don't know.
It was not this. This was actually in last place. But
Whoa!
Only because the other chapters were so good.
Yeah, and no, everything was good this week. That's why I gave.
And yes, I am also saying My Hero Academia was good, guys. Let's be very clear.
We'll cross that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Chainsaw Man. I thought it was very interesting read. I like it a lot. Brian, what did you think?
I thought it was a cute little chapter, aside from the shoes covered in guts.
Yeah, that was gross.
Though this chapter is pretty much setting up that girl to become a weapon for the War Devil.
Oh, for sure.
Pretty sure that's what's gonna
happen. Without a doubt. Oh my god, I forgot he gives it up like that, man. I'm not attached to the friend. It's just such knowing that that's definitely gonna happen. Like don't even get it twisted. Don't even think for a moment that she's going to be alive for more than like 10 more chapters.
Yeah.
I give it more. I give it less than 3. 3 or less. She's going to be dead. Man, she might even die next chapter, to be honest. Let's be
Damn, Brian. Cruelty.
The moment she sees the moment she sees Denji, instant. Can rip her into a weapon.
Well, anyway, continue on, Brian.
Well, no, I mean that's it. It was a nice little chapter. The friends are probably going to become weapons soon, so we'll see. I'm just excited to see Denji. Like, this is the same thing I said last week, but I just want to see him, man. I want to see my boy.
Yeah. Well, I guess all that leaves is Josh. If you have any deeper thoughts about it.
No, I actually don't. I just really want to emphasize that I did really enjoyed this chapter. It was a pleasant read, and again, this was a heavy week. It had to contest with the return of One Piece and a few other chapters popping off. It didn't even have Jujutsu Kaisen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been crazier. But yeah, it is what it is.
All right. Well, with that being said, I suppose we should move on to our next series. Let's move onward. My Hero Academia.
All right, nerds.
Ooh, Brian's going to take the reins for this one. My Brian Academia has finally reached its final form.
All right. So this chapter picks up from where we left off.
Wait, what's the title of the chapter, Brian? You got to do My Hero Academia, chapter 360.
My Hero Academia, chapter 360. All right, so this chapter picks up from when Bakugo is getting his ass mollywopped by fucking Shigaraki. The chapter actually starts with him having his foot on top of Bakugo's head, and he's kind of just like, he's still continuing to shit talk. He's like, "Oh shit, where the fuck your boy at? Yo, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Yo, you remember when I beat your ass before? And this dude got mad fucking pissed off. Yo, I just wait until you sees this shit now." And he kind of like,
I remember.
He kind of grabs Bakugo with his toes.
That
and
was crazy.
And then he uses the same leg that he flung up. He brings it down and breaks Bakugo's gauntlet in the same swing. That was sick.
The level of disrespect.
Finesse and disrespect.
You ever pulled someone's hair? You ever pulled someone's hair with your toes? Ugh.
I seen a video on Instagram where like they grab their like Uber Eats delivery, like their food delivery, like with the toes out the door. They cracked the door open, grabbed the bag with their toes, and brought it in and shut the door quick. And I was like, wow, that's exactly what this shit reminded me of. It's way more extreme,
dude. And you know Shigaraki's
going to a Uber Eats.
Oh, and it's Shigaraki's feet out of everyone. Oh,
look at all of the little toes. Oh, it's so crusty.
And as he's talking shit to Bakugo, it kind of looks like he struck the fear of God into him or something. Like, I don't know what exactly happened here, but he kind of, I guess, put the image in Bakugo's head that he is fucking dead.
Gotcha, real quick. I gotcha. I'm going to show you. It's not what Brian is talking about specifically, but here we go.
Yeah.
Is it in focus?
Well, it's time for reality check. Katsuki Bakugo.
We only get the dialogue box at the bottom. But
so he really drives it home with the "you'll never be as big or as Deku," and Nejire comes in and she shoots one of her fucking shockwaves at him, but this dude, foul as he is, uses Bakugo as a fucking shield for the attack. So Nejire
actually pretty gangster.
Nejire had to kind of change the trajectory of her blast, but this opened up an attack for Sun Eater to come in from behind and drop a venom toxin inside of him. He didn't like that shit, so he just fucking exploded with a bunch of fucking
first of all,
body parts.
You missed this thing, Brian. Shigaraki grows a mouth outside of his shoulder and spits the poison out.
Oh, that's what that was.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, was that supposed to be the setup? That was what this is all for? Like,
yeah, and then he explodes.
Venom, nigga.
I didn't notice that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Then he does this weird explosion.
Was pretty sick,
and he does this explosion where it looks like a bunch of fucking trees with fucking mouths and tongues and shit.
Fingers.
Mm-hmm. And then this also surprisingly opens up Mirko to come in and Mirio to come in and sneak Bakugo out. So he tosses him to Genus and he's like, it's just you and me now, bitch. And surprisingly, Shigaraki remembers Lemillion.
Stupid fucking face.
Yeah, I remember your stupid face from Jaku.
And as they're kind of talking, Lemillion is kind of explaining his job, like his role in this operation for some reason. I don't know why. He's just like, oh yeah, I kind of just message. I pass messages along. I get around if people need help. I'm the backup essentially, and he's kind of showing his versatility in this situation by being able to kind of phase through Shigaraki's attacks and his overgrowth. And Shigaraki's like, nah, bro, you just fucking suck. All this shit is gonna fall apart. And then Mirio's like, oh, I get it. You got no friends. you ain't never been to Applebee's with the boys. Which
we're gonna address that later.
And then Shigaraki is actually stunned by this. He's like, huh?
Man, what'd you say?
And Mirio's like, otherwise you realize there's plenty worth keeping around, as he kind of blasts through and punches him right in the gut with Nejire's shock blast on his forearm as he kind of phases through all of his overgrowth. Mm-hmm. And it looks like a pretty good blow, but I doubt it's going to be that heavy against this guy. Then we cut back to Best Jeanist after he recovered Bakugo from Shigaraki. And he's kind of like trying to tend to Bakugo's wounds. He's like, hey, come on, man. Give me your fucking arm. Let me fix that shit. But Bakugo seemingly looks like he's out of it. And Jeanist notices tears coming out of Bakugo's eyes onto his gauntlets. And this kind of leaves him a little sad, like a little upset. He's like, oh, shit, man. Look at what we're doing with these kids. He's kind of like, all right, come on, give me your arm. We'll get this shit figured out, but we need to kind of get you out of here or some shit. And all he hears is Bakugo muttering, right side finger faint. And he is shocked that Bakugo is still in the game despite everything that's happening to him. And we get this big shot of Bakugo with a determined glare on his eyes while he's crying, ready to get back into the fucking fight. And that is chapter 360 of My Hero Academia. What do you guys think?
You want to go first, Josh? Or?
I think you should go first, Chris. If you don't mind.
Yeah, I really like this chapter. There's a couple things to dissect. First of all, I like what Nejire's doing here. I didn't need her to do like something cool. Like she didn't have to take down Shigaraki by herself, but I like her support. I like that she gloms her shockwaves onto people. I think that's pretty cool and utilitarian and pretty sweet.
Yeah, it adds a layer of depth to her ability that I didn't know was there. Because otherwise, it just seemed like cool spiral blast.
Yeah, I don't need her to be the overall hero here, or the secret strongest one. I just need her to
no, of course not.
Do cool shit. Do cool things, just like Sun Eater.
That's cool shit. That's certified cool shit.
It's certified cool shit. So I'm happy with that.
New Jump City seal of approval. By the way, guys, leave a like.
Yes.
Comment if you're digging the podcast.
Yeah.
You should also sub. And then, hey, share it with the homies,
Definitely.
But anyway, as you were saying, Chris.
Yeah, the big three, it's pretty cool. It's cool to see them in action together. I hope we get to see a little bit more of it before Bakugo gets back in the game. It would be cool to see them do some cool shit together. That part's pretty cool. The stuff with Bakugo is very intriguing because it is obviously like Bakugo's not going to take shit talking lying down. I'm actually in the middle of my reread of My Hero. I finally made it. I just made it to the sports festival. And it was the first time he met Monoma. And Monoma trolled him so hard that he stole Monoma's headband when he didn't have to. Monoma was just trying to stay in the game, but because he talked so much shit, Bakugo took everything from him. So this is very much in line. It is cool. He's basically right now analyzing Shigaraki's moves. That's what the muttering is. He's right side finger. He's fainting there. He's just studying everything so he has an opportunity to strike. If you notice on that big final page, there's these little sparkles everywhere.
Yes.
I think Bakugo's heading for an awakening. Yes. I think the boy is gonna go Super Saiyan. And I'm here for it. I love Bakugo. I remember like reading early My Hero and just like he may have been an asshole, but he's like he's a very like fun character in that like he was an asshole, but he was also like the real fucking deal. Like he was
right. That it's worth saying. He
Mhm.
wasn't like the kid from Yu Yu Hakusho, who like was that dickhead rival to Yusuke.
Yeah.
Urameshi.
Okay,
But
Kuwabara?
Kuwabara was really kind of, he wasn't a joke, but it took a lot of development before he got to a certain point where niggas respected him.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I found out in the tournament arc, he still wasn't really respected all the way to the very end. So I'm kind of still perturbed by that, but whatever. We'll have that discussion
Another
day.
time. But yeah, I'm excited for that, honestly. He is tight right now, and like his eyes look like explosions. Like his iris, his pupils and shit.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a supernova going on in there. So I'm here for that too. I really like this chapter. I'm excited for what happens next. Hopefully we get a little bit more of the big three, but then like more Bakugo. I'm here for it.
Right.
I don't think we have a break from My Hero next week either. Oh yeah, no, we don't. So very excited.
Nice. Very, very excited.
Yeah, but those are all my thoughts. I thought it was great overall.
Okay.
What do you think?
I guess I'll move forward. Yeah, I'll move forward with my thoughts. So, like I mentioned, this was my runner-up. I really, really liked this chapter, and I actually found myself not enjoying it on the first read. I didn't, I had the same kind of jaded, like, whatever, but that's not true. I was really the thing in this chapter that popped off to me immediately was the action between Shigaraki and the Big Three. I thought their teamwork was well choreographed through the art, and it showed that these three are like, they're a real team. It's not just three guys that can beat you up really good. These guys are a unit, and that's what I expect. I'm expecting to see more of this in another chapter. I hope so. I think we could get a little bit more of this prolonged to where they're able to significantly like hinder Bakugo. They said they want Bakugo. All right. I guess I'll have a theory about how I think it goes, but I'm just saying I do want to see more of them fighting. They like we all know they're not going to beat him, but I want them to show out.
Yeah.
And have some more like high IQ fighting, so to speak. Mirio, I was sleeping on him before, but this fight made me realize, like, oh shit, like, without the quirks, he really does have a hard time against, Shigaraki would have a hard time against someone like Mirio, I mean, most people generally would, but specifically Bakugo, since he has to make contact with you, and Mirio can completely determine whether you do or don't, And even to take it a step further, he says that I can get in close, sure, but on my own I can't deal hard hitting damage. I think he's kind of selling himself short because I remember them breaking that down, that it's not just that he can, make himself intangible. He's using the momentum and shooting himself out from these things. And that makes that increases your velocity and your strength, It's just that I guess Shigaraki is just that hardy, He's just that much of a tank at this point. And plus, I guess even if he was to fucking break his head open, he'd probably still be able to revive anyway with his weirdo mutation. So that's fair. I'm just saying that it kind of reminded me that Mirio is that nigga. I forgot.
Oh yeah,
you
did forget.
I mean, I told you. Yes, I told you last week, bro.
Yeah, you told me, but my point still stands. That it's not my fault that I fell asleep on the nigga. It's not my fault. It's the author's fault, bro.
He hasn't been in the game for a while. That's fair.
No, he has not. That was completely his decision to do that. Like, not gonna linger on this, guys, because I want to continue to what I enjoyed the most about the chapter was the angle of Bakugo. I remember last week having a lot of anger towards the situation. Even though I said I did enjoy the chapter overall, I really didn't like what they was doing to Bakugo, because I just feel like, in my mind, I was looking at it like, yeah, I know Bakugo's gonna have his moment of retribution, sure. But what does it fucking matter? It's like, you dead ass disrespecting this kid, and I already know he's gonna get his moment, and it's gonna be some quick, turn the table shit. I feel like I seen the writing on the walls, and I was just projecting these realities so that I wouldn't be disappointed. But guys, I'm actually very excited for what Bakugo's about to do. I think it means something that on the second read of this chapter, I noticed that he was crying.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that when he seen him crying at first, what happened was that Best Genius confused that with the sweat. You know what I'm saying? Because sweat's his thing, like with his quirk, and that he wasn't actually crying like a bitch. Is that he was just still focused and like sweating from staying, his mind.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of what they was implying, but I think to me, I think Bakugo's showing a level of emotion and almost vulnerability that we've never seen before. I've never seen him cry, and has he? And I think he's had a moment where maybe he got so frustrated, but like he got his heart broken just now. Shigaraki really shattered his world for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It did, and what Bakugo did was decide to be exactly who the fuck he is, and say like, man, I don't care about none of what you saying. I'm that nigga, and I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna figure you out, and I'm gonna figure out a way to blow your fucking mouth off your face. He feels some kind of way. You was right, bro. You was right how you was talking about it earlier. That that is Bakugo's character, man. He ain't just someone that talks shit, bro. He's about it, and that doesn't just happen because he wills it. He is a thinker. He is a strategic. He's an asshole, sure, but I'm looking forward to it. This is my theory. I think that the three are gonna hold Bakugo. God damn it, man. Shigaraki down to the point that Bakugo is able to pull off another big move, which is going to be his awakening. Mm-hmm. I think it has to do with him. Because remember, all right, sweat is one thing, but why can't it extend to other bodily fluids like blood, your tears, maybe mucus? Who I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do think I didn't actually think awakening when I first seen it, but there you go. I think we're gonna see that, and I think they're gonna fucking destroy Shigaraki to the point that he can't even adapt anymore, and all he's gonna have is his quirk for his Midoriya, probably. Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna really fuck Shigaraki up now, and I'm actually pretty excited. I'm excited. I'm excited for Bakugo. I'm not even mad about the adults because they've been trying hard, and again, these three students, it's not about the fact that they're overpowering Shigaraki, it's that their powers are working in such a way that they can disrupt him. Mm-hmm. And they're strong. They fight alongside the regular heroes. Bakugo's been a prodigy. Best Genius and all these other guys are trying their hardest. Things are flowing. That's all I'm saying. I'm satisfied, and I'm excited. Let's go.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
Quick.
I have one last thing, but you can rebuttal. Go ahead.
Oh, just a real fast thing. The sweat that Bakugo, it's apparently only from his palms, until now. That's why I think it's an awakening, because you see the explosions manifesting around him, which indicates that it may be blood, it may be tears, but it's also maybe the sweat is the nitroglycerin sweat is now spreading more less from his palms and more from his entire body. So he could be able to manifest it from anywhere. But there is a specific, up to this point, Horikoshi has specified that the nitroglycerin sweat comes from his palms specifically.
Okay.
But that's all. What was your last thing?
Okay. Let's go back to page 11.
Oh my God.
Okay. Mirio asks him, so why do you destroy, right? Shigaraki says, because the current framework has failed, right? Which then Mario replies, "Oh, I get it. You've never had any friends. Otherwise, you'd realize there's plenty worth keeping around." I had mixed feelings about that statement. Okay, you two know very much how I feel about society in general, but for the listeners, I'm gonna put it to you like this: even though Horikoshi has been handling it in my opinion, a horrible, sloppy, and ignorant way, to me it comes across, and it could just be how I perceive what Shigaraki kind of represents. But I just feel like it's almost uncanny. All right. Shigaraki says that the world is fucked up and he wants to change it. Everybody else, the heroes, aka the cops of the series, are at war with him and all these other bad guys to protect the status quo. Let's not get anything twisted. They all talk shit about a better tomorrow, a great day, but they had a period of time with All Might where they said that was a golden era. Like that was the greatest times in that society was starting to deteriorate. So that was they was already felt like we've had peak society that they wanted to maintain. So it's not about the heroes saying that we want to keep making things better for people. They just want, as far as I've seen, and what's been expressed in this comic, and you guys could express if y'all feel differently, but I take it as they want to protect the status quo and how things are. And you know what, guys? It was not okay for everyone. All for One ain't shit. Shigaraki's a fucking psychopath. That goes without saying. But there were issues. And it's just like, oh, here comes Mario, like, oh man, you just never had friends. That's why you think the world sucks, But I can also look at it at face value, and he's saying, well, yeah, of course, you want to destroy everything on the face of this planet, because that is actually what Shigaraki says. He's not saying he wants to reform things. He just wants to blow everything away because he's a sad edgelord weirdo orphan. Actually, I shouldn't have added the orphan. That's really mean. The orphans aren't inherently that way. But I wouldn't blame them if they did act out that way because their lives are really fucking terrible, especially in America. I'm digressing. And then like that, it was like a little bit of a peak of the same shit that kind of bothers me. But I can also see that as Mario, like, checking him, like, bro, like, you don't have anybody you care about. That's why you want to destroy everything. But doesn't he have people he cares about? I know he used to. Remember his hero team?
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, I mean, his villain team? He cared about them. He risked his fucking life to stop these niggas on the highway just to take his arm back for what he did to Mr. Compress.
Yeah, well, Shigaraki is...
I think he cares at least a little bit, but...
Shigaraki is not exactly himself right now,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think maybe that's a little reading into it a little bit. I mean, we haven't seen a lot about heroes necessarily talking about how they would kind of change society. But to be fair, in the last couple...
But they don't want to.
Well, and to be fair, in the last couple weeks, they've been literally dealing in a post-apocalyptic world. And I think like their priority was to make sure there wasn't rampant murder at all, like everywhere we go. I feel like the situation has escalated, and I think what Shigaraki represents is more. It's not necessarily that it's not a negation that the society was broken, but there's also extremists on the other side that aren't focused really on making the problem better, or more that they're just trying to destroy it. They're just trying to break the system because of it,
Here's my thoughts on the whole thing. So Josh is right on the fact that Hero Society does have some blatant problems in it.
Oh yeah.
During All Might's reign, it was said that it was the golden age, but it wasn't the golden age for heroism. It was just the golden age because All Might was there. if All Might wasn't there, it would look a lot more like this. But here's the thing. The reason why it's not a golden age of heroism. The reason why it's not that is because it was kind of like everybody wasn't really trying to be a hero. It was pretty much All Might doing the work for everybody. He was the one who was kind of upholding the what Josh would say the status quo, essentially, was that heroes were the top of the food chain. And that meant that they all felt like they were indestructible and it was easy for things to fall through the cracks. And Shigaraki was one of the people that fell down the cracks of the system because of All Might's existence. He was so great that everybody felt like they could just do whatever, they could just do fuck all because All Might would just take care of it, right? So heroes weren't readily available to the public like they were supposed to be because they were lazy because All Might was doing everything. So essentially, I don't like this Muriel line. To come back to this, I don't like this Muriel line because it just felt so random. It felt so out of place. It's not the right thing he should have said to Shigaraki. But this was easily the worst part of the chapter for me too. But I do think that this next generation is the change that Shigaraki would have needed in when he was younger. These are the people that should have been heroes when All Might was around, because these are the people who are going to do the right thing or going to be there for people who are lost. And whether he knows it or not, Shigaraki is bringing the change that he wants. It's just not going to end with him being the on the receive, like the positive end of it. You know, he's probably not going to be the victor.
Yeah,
because the change in the system is already here, and he just brought it about it faster.
well,
essentially,
I think the if you want to call it the best thing Shigaraki did is that they're very aware of it now. Like the more sympathetic generation that is coming, you know, in Midoriya and the Class A and Class B students, they know. They know now.
I hope.
Well, yeah.
I don't think it's I'll be honest, Chris. I do not believe it's as automatic as you're making it
I'm
seem.
not saying it's automatic.
I don't think any of these kids have really challenged their point of view on that.
Uraraka has.
They made it clear that, like, all right, so I think the reason why they make characters like Toga appear like this and have her have such a prominent role in things is to show the moral side, the moral argument of these kids and how they view the world. Because like easily they could just take her out and send her to jail and shit, right? But it's more than that. It's not just about defeating. It's about helping. It's about what's the real problem here. Like that's why Midoriya and what's her name? Uraraka were having that moment where they were both thinking to themselves, "Fuck, man, why like how did this happen to her? Like what could we have done to like help her, you know?"
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's automatic, but you know, they're
putting more of an empathetic twist on these kids, essentially.
And yeah, for sure. It's funny because like when you look back, when Horikoshi was like building this world, like in the early chapters, he makes it known that like there is this like competitive free market type of look to superheroism in this world.
Yeah.
You know, there's like agencies competing with each other to be popular, and you know they're doing it for profit to a degree. So yeah, there's always been an underbelly of brokenness to the society, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. It is funny because like I hear where you're coming from, and I think like there's definitely got to be that conversation. I would hope it happens like after the war, I guess, because I guess like you gotta prioritize like just saving people's lives at this point. You know,
right.
At the time of what was happening when all of these criminals were let out and just like wreaking havoc across multiple cities and shit, and they didn't really have time to sit down and have a nuanced conversation about all that stuff.
There wasn't any time given, so it's like I do understand that, but that is why I kind of make that point where I feel like I don't. Yeah, Midoriya and Uraraka did have that moment, and even now as Uraraka fights against Toga, her and at least 3 people, for sure, Midoriya, Uraka, and Miss Toady. I forgot her name. You. At least they are starting to understand the level of empathy towards what we perceive as criminals. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that, by the way, what we perceive as criminals, because the only thing that decides whether someone's a criminal or not is the law, and law is made up. It's a collective decision we make. So somebody could be a criminal one year, and the next year they could not be a criminal if laws change. I think that's important to specify. But anyway,
yeah,
it's just to wrap up the thought.
Also, we get a little bit of it with Todoroki, to be fair, also. Because he looks at Dabi.
Todoroki?
Yeah, Shoto.
Yes.
Where Dabi's like, Dabi's not like, I'm going to throw you in jail. He's just like, we're gonna, you may have to suffer consequences, but we're going to watch out for you. Because
there is sympathy being earned and...
Or learned. I think empathy.
Learned,
yeah, I think empathy. Well, it's inherent within Shoto. He had it, and now Endeavor has it, because Endeavor also is just like, I'm gonna watch after. He's my responsibility. I'm gonna my duty from this. If we get out of this alive, my duty is to watch over the son that I broke. And I think that's coming with Spinner, because he's fighting against what is his own people in Shoji and in Ojiro and, other what was it called? Heteromorphs. Like the heteromorphs among the Class A and Class B, I imagine, is what he's going to be going up against. And there's going to be commentary on that. I think the League of Villains is going to end up achieving what they wanted one way or another. It's just like kind of a shame that these people have to be kind of the example that society sets for what is an extreme, like how many paths that could have taken that could have been different. And it's very parallel to the real world, where like there are these examples of extremism and how different it could have been if one little thing was different, Yeah, it's tough, man.
These people wouldn't have existed and done what they did if it wasn't for the systems in place that these
Correct.
heroes are desperately trying to maintain.
Yeah.
But I will retract and say that I guess it is unfair to say that, there is no hope, or that at least the youth, the next generation, isn't going to use this situation as a learning experience, because they had to figure like, we thought shit was great. And that whole time we thought shit was great, little seeds was being planted. And soon as, the big cloud of protection that was All Might disappeared, and that sun ray came down and made those seeds grow into the fucking situation it is now.
Yeah.
But getting another awful one is not going to help the situation.
Yeah, I think that's what it's pointing to.
Right. And I do have faith in that message. I guess I'll wait and see. I just, it just sounds so much like how people love to remember 60 years ago. Like, people think about it like with nostalgia, like, oh man, society was great in the 60s and 50s and such. And it's like, yeah, for which group of people, right? So, I'm very sensitive to that. And I got to remember that, again, this comic is not reflective of the real world.
Well, you
However,
can argue it is.
You can't.
These kids are also taught that heroes are great, that like this society is basically like, these are the good guys, like there's they're established pillars in our society. There are status symbols, maybe they're not brainwashed, but they are conditioned to believe that this is like the status quo has been good forever. And now they're just breaking out of that. I think that's interesting to talk about. It's interesting to think about, really.
I'm glad I was able to get those thoughts out. That's why My Hero Academia is so divisive sometimes. I do kind of feel like I get lost in like what the message actually is, and then I get nervous, because of the whole the hero kind of similar to police aspect of it. But y'all know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And I will probably have much more to say on the topic as My Hero continues to unfold.
All right. I have just one thing to really go off of right now, and it's I kind of just realized that Bakugo and Midoriya are kind of having reverse like story paths. You know, I kind of feel like when the story started off, Midoriya was kind of the crybaby and everything, you know, the person who got bullied, the person who dealt with cruelty. And now Bakugo at this point is the one that's dealing with the cruelty and dealing with the bullying that he kind of inflicted on somebody else. So it's kind of like a full circle, which is why I feel like it's interesting that the chapter is called 360 because it's like Bakugo's arc is kind of going full circle.
Wait, wasn't it chapter 360?
The chapter
Yeah.
is 360.
What's the title of the chapter though?
Not
I don't know.
360.
Oh, you're just saying that like it's
Yeah.
it's like right, okay. Oh, that was very artful, Brian.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting that, you know, in the first chapter we see Deku crying, and now 360 chapters later, in a full circle, and Bakugo is the one that's crying now. So I think it's pretty interesting to see that, you know, it's like Bakugo had all the confidence and Deku had all the emotion, and now Bakugo had to learn how to deal with his emotion to become like to really accept his emotions to become better. So I think this was a pretty beautiful way to end the chapter with Bakugo crying because it shows that he's finally accepted that he's human. He's not a god. He's a human being who can be broken. And this is him finally kind of accepting that. And this is a really beautiful fucking chapter for me. Like it's such an inspiring moment for Bakugo to have, you know?
Yeah.
So that's all I really had to say about it. So that's why it was so close. It was such a close thing. If it wasn't for that weird ass fucking Mirio part, this probably would have won RGC for me.
Yeah.
But I really love this for Bakugo.
Yeah. That's a really good point, Brian. I didn't even catch that. That's kind of smart. I like the idea that like, well, yeah, Bakugo is this bully, and you know when you're a bully, eventually you're gonna come up against someone you can't. That's gonna bully you back. Who's not gonna be nice to you very much. Eventually, you're gonna find yourself on the opposite side of that.
And the bully boomerang.
Yeah, and this guy was definitely the bully boomerang. Came back and called him he called him a minnow. He said,
"What did that mean, minnow?"
Minnow is a fish. It's a small fish that like follows. You know, I think like. Yeah, he
called him a runt.
Yeah, he roasted him. Just like he did Midoriya.
Why Bakugo was the one who's getting treated this foul. And it's because of that storyline. It's because this is the reverse. This is
the humbling.
This is him at the end of Midoriya's beginning.
This is the humbling of Bakugo. Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what he does from here on out. You know, of course, fucking love Bakugo, but he really needed this moment. And I feel like Horikoshi really hit the nail on the head with this one. It was really beautiful.
Agreed.
Yeah, this was a very well done chapter.
Yeah, can't wait for the next one. It was short too. It was like 16
but jam-packed.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
It was okay. It's a well done short chapter.
Yeah,
Unlike the Bleach ones. You'll forever be the butt of our jokes.
Or Josh's at least.
Yeah, for sure, for me.
Anyway, shall we?
Do I have to read it again, bro? Is that what it is?
I would give it a shot. I'm reading it slowly. I'm not exactly at the Soul Society arc yet, but I'm getting there.
Oh shit.
I'm still I read it at a very, very slow pace. You know, if I've got nothing going on, I'll throw it on for a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Well, shall we move onward?
Yes.
All right. Let's go. Undead Unluck.
Number 120.
Yeah, this is Undead Unluck chapter 120. Did you want to do this right? Are you gonna?
Yeah, I said I would.
All right, go for it.
Said I would. All right. All right. Undead Unluck chapter number 120. This is much easier. Oh, you know, I actually did not notice the chapter name when I first read this. Guys, this was my third place for favorite.
Wow.
Almost got the RGC actually, to be honest, but I had to check myself before I made a completely biased decision. I try to have a little bit of fairness to it. I try to think of a better word, but anyways, yeah, this is I really like this chapter, guys, and you'll see why soon. So, last chapter, Billy pulled up to the scene and was trying his fucking hardest to fight off Unruin, but he is the ultimate cheese lord and cannot be stopped by conventional means. Also, we learned a little bit about why Billy made the decisions he did, and created a full reform in Chris and I's mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Full reform, 100%.
Yeah.
180 flip to respecting and understanding Billy and also legitimizing that arc.
Mm-hmm.
He did that all in one chapter, guys. Y'all should read the series if you're not.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, this. I'm gonna say some wild things later. All right. We also found out that Billy's ability is called Unfair, which, like, we knew he could copy abilities, but now we know that he has to have the people not like him in order for his unfair ability to work.
Mm-hmm.
He can also only hold up to 6. That was confirmed already, right?
Right.
Yeah. We also found out that he lost a few abilities. Actually, I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So let me just break this down. Okay, he's still all right. So to the first page of the chapter, Billy's, continuing to explain that, like if I ain't have y'all hate on me, I wouldn't have been able to use these abilities. So, yep, that's why I was evil. And everyone's like, word. All right.
Cool, thanks.
You valid. You good. Okay. Plot hole field. Of course, on Ruin is like, oh, you think your power is so cool? Guess what? It doesn't really affect me no matter what, because I have a way to get around it. It is what it is, guys.
He's unruined.
Take the sarcasm.
So he's ostensibly he's got a healing factor because he cannot be ruined.
And he has some extra shit, too.
He has 2 UMAs on him, which is Blood and Shadow.
That's... Okay. Oh. I see. Okay. And he can't be ruined. Okay. Now that we all on the same page about Unruined, let's talking that good shit about how it's a pathetic ability and it could never hold a candle to God Almighty. Then we get a flashback. And he's like, I guess the scientist whose name I forgot already, even though he was one of my favorite characters in the series. Nico, Robin, and Undead are talking in this room, talking about the prospect of adding Undead to the team, and that he negates death. And everyone's like, for real? And he's like, dead eyes. He can't die. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, but we ended up letting him escape, which, okay. So that's when Billy was first intrigued and thought, okay, this is the guy I need to steal his ability. Like, if I get this ability, I can defeat God. Fair enough. I felt like if I couldn't die, nothing could stop me.
Yeah.
Including God. So why not? Fair logic, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So then I guess we skip forward to I don't think this is when Billy betrayed them. This is probably leading up to when he was this is probably plans he was setting in motion before he straight up betrayed the Union. I don't think it really matters, but he starts explaining how there's no way of getting around his ability. Okay, no, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm reforming my thoughts. This is definitely prior to him betraying Union, because they're still speaking of Andy by himself on his own.
Yeah, he hasn't
right?
exactly betrayed them yet.
Right. And then he says you ended up meeting Fuko, and we get some more action where like Unruin is trying to, get his weird old blood attack to hit Andy and Fuko, and Billy tells Tatiana to make what's that? A cylinder blast? That's like a beam she's shooting down, right? That's the cylinder.
Yeah, she can focus her untouchable ability down to that specific area in the cylinder.
Right, so she's kind of like pinning the actual body of Unruined back, right? And then Billy locates Shadow and hits Shadow with Unchange, right? So he hits the Shadow with Unchange and then hits his blood with Unmove, totally freezing him in place so that he can't do anything about it. Right? Which I'm right so far.
Yeah.
Everything checks out. Ruin's letting him know, like, bro, like, who cares? Like, you can't kill me. we can stay like this forever. Like, let's see who survives first, right? They start to say how they all did a good job. I mean, Billy did his job. He said that, I'm going to hold you here so that, Andy and Fuko can move forward and do whatever it is they need to do, right? Get to the table, I think. That's what they just trying to find. But so then we get a little bit more monologue inside of Billy's head where he's, like, explaining how, like, he basically thought, like, all right, with Undead, I could still, like, I wanted to take his ability, but
he likes me too much.
I'm so mixed up, guys. I'm sorry because I swear I read this.
I
swear I had this in my mind. Okay, I'm trying to do this without reading it panel by panel, but essentially, he's saying, "Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I'm having all types of difficulties here. People calling me." Okay, he explains how that he wanted him to despise Billy. He said that he was a cruel man and who used Fuku as a tool to kill himself. And that's why he thought, like, oh, I could, like, manipulate you. Like, you're just this, like, asshole. But he realized over time that, nah, like, Andy's a solid fucking dude. You know? So he said, I never thought that I wouldn't. Okay. So basically after coming to the understanding that, Andy was a cool dude, I guess, like, Andy stopped kind of hating him as well. It happened, like, simultaneously, and he just kind of came to the fact that, like, all right, I'm not going to be able to use your ability to beat God, right? And he doesn't say it explicitly, but I feel like the point he's trying to make, and again, which is to explain the reasoning behind Billy's actions, was that he was like, he thought he could use Undead, and then he was like, oh, shit, I could use Fuko, too. But he couldn't get Fuko to hate him because Fuko loves everyone. She's so kind. She's so kind to the point that it's linked to her fucking negation ability. You know what I mean? Because God is so cruel and wanted to punish her for who she wants to be, which is a loving person. Like, that's really what's going on here, guys. Like, it's a lot of meta stuff. But yeah, it's why he used, and it all makes sense. And he even says, like, I never thought I wouldn't be able to use an ability that I had already stolen. So it also goes to explain why, like, his reform was deeper than just shonen hero smacking some sense into him. He realized he was not going to win. His plan wasn't going to work out. But not only that, like, like, these two could probably do it, and I need to change gears because the goal was always to defeat God. That was always the goal. Everything checks out. Wonderful execution by the author. But we're not done with this chapter, guys. Because Mr. Bentley starts talking that shit. So in the previous chapter, in My Hero Academia, I understand. I feel like Mirio said that to Shigaraki, said that sentence to him to kind of annoy him and try to throw him off, kind of like how Peter Parker does when he fights people and cracks little jokes, right? That's what Billy's doing right now.
Yeah.
He's definitely trying to get, like, he's not telling, like, so actually, Unruined does it to himself. Niggas calls him an idiot, and he's like, you negators can struggle to your heart's content, but God will rule all, right? So, the funny thing is that, like, you know, he did his job. He's like, man, I got you stuck in place. You straight, right? So he starts talking that shit, says, you pathetic negators are nothing more than vessels to make the world go round. Sure. You guys suck. God is perfect. I'm going to kill all of you guys up. And then Billy's like, oh, so you're an inferior version of Undead, are you? Right?
Yep.
Oh, no. Yeah. He says that, but I neglect to mention that, like, Unruined has, like, this weirdo hard-on for Undead. I guess he thinks that his ability is beautiful as well, and that he is very okay with Undead and himself looping to the next world.
Well, he's saying that because his powers, he considers himself, like, similar to Undead. Because he's unruined, he can't be killed. And Andy also loops through. And that's why, like, Billy realizes, like, oh, yeah, sure, you're, like, similar, but you're, like, a shittier version of Undead.
Yeah, he starts, like, really, like, laying it on him.
Yeah.
I mean, just telling her how, like, yeah. I'm just say word for word, guys. Like,
dude, he says this. He basically says, like, yo, you're, like, you can't be killed and you got a healing factor. You're not, like, I guess you're, like, immortal to a degree, but you don't make it through every loop. You know that, right? Like, you don't loop like Andy does. Like, Andy survives to the point where he doesn't need the arc to go. Like, he just, like, exists throughout every loop. You die every time, just like us. Whereas Andy just, like, kind of comes back Victor, like the ultimate form of Andy, which is Victor, his true subconscious form, lives through every loop, and it continuously lives it through every time warp. Basically, you reset just like the rest of us. You're not like him. So, you know, if by your logic, Undead is the actual true chosen one by God, because he can loop, unlike you, because you suck. Not only that, this is like the first time we've ever met. You didn't even make it to this level all this time. Every loop, you've never met us. Yeah. So, you know, he basically says, like, the only one chosen by God here is Undead, and not an imperfect reject like you. Yeah. So, Billy looks at him. Yeah, Billy's like, well, at least I can substitute your ability for Undead's and use it to slay God. And it turns out now Billy has Unruin, because Unruin hates him.
Oh, how fucking sick was that? That's a really cool reveal to me, man. And that's, yeah, he also says, he said, well, this is much easier. Going back to the title of the chapter, I couldn't care less about being hated by someone I despise. So thanks, Ruin. Man, talk about the turntables. Like, Billy finessed that. And the crazy thing is that it didn't even have to go down that way. Mm-hmm. It really didn't. But Unruined started talking that shit, so Billy was like,
bet.
You know what? You know what I thought about? Let me tell you why you ain't shit.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
so I've been thinking about this for a little while, actually. On the way here, on my motorcycle ride, I pondered these things.
Yeah.
And I'd never met you. Not once. No one talked about you. You're nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool. Now he has Unruined, and it's like, what can he do to Billy now? This is sick.
Yeah.
And Billy still has other abilities.
Yeah, he does. He has 5 others. But yeah, that was Undead Unluck. I guess I'll get into my thoughts. I thought this chapter was pretty rad as well.
Pretty rad.
Yeah, this last few pages was really cool. Just the way that he, like, reverse psychologied himself into being able to steal Ruin's ability, because Ruin didn't, like, I think you have to have, like, definitely feelings of animosity towards Billy. And Unruin, although he was like an antagonist, just like saw him as a bug he had to smush. You know, he's not a threat. I don't hate this guy. You know, you just gotta go. But yeah, now he's like really like just reversed it to a point where like now he has basically a healing factor somewhat similar to Andy's. He can't die as easy, and that's pretty cool. I don't know what this means for his ability to loop. I guess he can just like join the arc with Fuko and Andy, maybe, because he does say that he intends to use it to slay God, but I don't know if that means he's.
I
Going
mean, he was
the
just saying that to get him tight.
Yeah. But either way, it was really cool. Billy's rad. This whole arc has been great, pretty much top to bottom. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I got to say. Josh, what do you think?
Did Unruined always have fangs?
Yes.
Okay, yes, you're right. He did. He just looked so crazy in that last picture. He looks different.
Yeah.
It's because he has the Byakugan now.
Byakugan.
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 Oh man! Shout out to the abridged series. What was the best abridged series? I like the Attack on Titan one. I only seen literally like 2 episodes.
There's only ever been one.
Oh, then I only seen that one episode, and it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Better than all the Dragon Ball Z abridged combined.
The same guys.
Sorry. Maybe that's a hot take. I know. I'm just saying they did great with
Attack on
Titan.
They did.
The Potato Girl, yo.
Yeah. But anyway, what did you think, Josh? Final.
Oh. Yeah. Give me a moment to gather my thoughts. I feel like I shared a lot of it as I was talking, but I'm just gonna rehash it. The author, whose name I'm about to look up right this second. Don't help me, Chris.
Okay.
Yoshifumi Tozuka.
There you go.
Did such a great job of reconciliating Billy. I mean, I don't know how all you guys feel listening that are Undead Unluck fans, but I thought it was it's been well documented that we think that his turnaround was a little hasty and kind of out of nowhere, and we just kind of had to accept it and roll with the punches. So I didn't want to nitpick at it, I just didn't have the same level of respect and expectations for the series as I do as something like My Hero Academia or now Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece, etc. So I was able to just kind of like not get so annoyed by certain things. But for what it's worth, he just perfectly this is what I mean when I say it's like I'm about to say some wild shit. I felt like when I read. I'm not saying this is for sure the case, but when I got to that last page, I felt like, wow, everything was leading to this point. Everything that happened with Billy was to lead to this fight against Unruined. But I know that's not true. There's just no way. You know what I mean? Like, there's not enough things that fell into place for it to be like, oh, of course he'd end up fighting Unruined and be in this situation. But I could still appreciate the competency involved in, stringing together that this little situation. Like, he didn't have to do this. I would have been just fine if he didn't. But he, to me, showed me that he has that next gear, and that if this series does continue longer than I anticipate it to, that it will continue to be incredible and probably get better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, don't really have too much other great thoughts. Solid, heavy thoughts. That's it. I love the chapter, guys.
Yeah.
Third best. Could have been RGC. And it's competing against Goat Piece, bro.
Yeah.
The return of Goat Piece. A fucking world-building chapter. It gave it a fight, bro.
Yeah.
That is significant, guys. You have to understand the severity of that. And if I don't read One Piece or watch it to understand what we're talking about, stop smoking crack, start watching One Piece. It'll make up for the crack.
Yeah, stop with the crack, guys.
I inject that shit into my vein every time I read it. Every chapter is literary cocaine, literary crack, literary morphine.
Nailed it.
Any drug you want to use.
Yeah, insert your favorite drug here.
I don't shoot drugs in my veins, so I wouldn't know, guys. Sorry.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
don't shoot drugs up our veins at New Jump City Podcast.
No.
I do smoke a lot of weed.
Yes, he does do that.
I do that.
Well,
No surprise there.
yeah. Well, then that's it. That's Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Oh my God. Yeah, this is the longest episode we've done in a while, guys. Yeah, I don't even know how we got this far. But
Did we cover X-Men?
sheesh. Imagine. But yeah, thank you
No,
guys.
I don't.
Thank you guys for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram. At NYChillin on Twitter. Brian at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. Check out his streaming at twitch.tv/itspunchline. He plays video games on there. Follow him there. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. Check us out. You can comment underneath the videos as well. Let us know how you feel there about the chapters, your questions, any questions you have for us. Let us know. And give us a subscribe while you're at it. Subscribe to the podcast, like it, share it, do all the things. If you prefer audio podcast, it usually goes up first because it's easier to edit. So it goes up first usually. Check us out there wherever you listen to podcasts. And yeah, that's it. We got to get the hell out of here. It's 2.5 hours this episode already almost.
Goddamn.
Yeah, we went in. I hope you guys enjoyed it though. I hope you guys liked it. I know we're a little late this week, but sometimes life gets in the way.
Black Clover's coming back
No, stop it. When?
in 4 days. Swear to God.
What?
That's what it says right
Oh man, next week's gonna be crazy. Oh, my God.
Yeah, yo, Black Clover's coming back. Gold Piece is gonna be. Whoa.
Dude, I think the gang's gonna be back. The entire lineup.
The whole fucking squad.
The whole squad.
Oh my God. And World Trigger's coming out this month.
Oh, well, those are. We might have to do a separate episode for those.
No, I'm not doing that shit all together, guys. No way that's happening.
We can't possibly. But
Don't even fool yourself.
we might split it up. We might just because Boruto's out this month. So what we can do is that we'll do the squad, and then we'll do an episode for Dragon Ball Super, World Trigger, and Chainsaw Man.
Word up.
But yeah, that's it. Until then, thank you guys so much for listening.
No, we're not gonna cover Chainsaw Man weekly.
Chainsaw Man's on Tuesdays. We usually record Mondays. Unless you guys want to do it Tuesday. We'll figure it out. Well, this is an off-mic conversation. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys very soon, actually. Yeah, stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for listening, as always. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.